Hey everybody, this is TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly.
Jill Santabanez and
Barbara Cloyd.
This is the Queen of Bluebird, is that correct?
Well,
Yes.
no, I just host the open mic.
You just opened.
she's so modest. Right. For the past
I've just been there a long time.
right for the past several years, and I mean you're a big deal at Bluebird.
Well,
and
let's just say Garth Brooks and Kenny Chesney both played my open mic, so that's how long I've been at it.
That's
There
pretty
you
good.
go.
That's pretty good. Okay, let's
amazing.
jump right into it. Those two people right there, did they play the open mic? That was their audition?
Yep. No.
Oh, okay.
The open mic is just an open mic. Anybody who wants to play has to call in at 11 o'clock, and we sign up the first 25 people that get through. And you can find the phone number on the Bluebird website, bluebirdcafe.com.
And it's Mondays, right?
It's every Monday.
So do you still do the line of people out front? And there's also a call-in thing now?
Yeah, we changed it. You
Okay.
used to have to line up, and it was just, we got so popular and so many people came that,
Right.
People would get to play, but then they wouldn't get seated, so they'd have to wait outside for 2 hours, 3 hours to come in and play their one song and leave. So
Now, how long have you been there?
since 86.
Okay, did you see
incredible.
what was happening when you opened the door? Because it's basically almost a strip mall in Green Hills. I mean, it's not like we're down
Oh,
in
I know.
Bel Air
Did you guys
for
expect
Opry or
that?
something.
Yeah, people come to Nashville and they're looking for the Bluebird, and then it's
Yeah.
like, that little dump? You
Right.
know?
The first time I saw it, I drove by and
Yeah.
it was literally 2 blocks behind the house I was renting, and I didn't even know. I always pictured it out by Opryland or out by the.
like with flashing
the
lights
Ryman.
and
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, it's just
What happened? I mean, how did that happen?
Amy
Everybody
Kurland is the woman who started it. She started it as a little luncheon restaurant, and then one of her friends said, well, if you're open at night, I'll come play some music. And somebody said, well, if you're
Great.
going to have some music, I'll make a calendar for you. And then over time, she just discovered that she was doing better with the music than with the lunches. And then over time, she discovered that the songwriting shows did better for her than anything else. So
Nice.
she just honed in on that. But Amy's an amazing person, and she's a very smart businesswoman and pays attention to detail.
She
and
pays
always
attention.
and always made every decision based on what is best for the music.
And that's something we talked about a little bit in our pre-interview. There's so many interesting things we could talk
Oh,
for
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
But some of the things that you look for, you don't look for the physical so much. You listen to the music, and you're looking for something. You said it a certain way. You look for something, but you want a little bit of a difference.
Oh, well, at the Bluebird, we love all kinds of music. There's like no real,
so not just country.
not country. Anybody is welcome to come play the open mic, and anybody is welcome to audition for the Sunday Writers Night. If you want to write for the Nashville market, if you're a songwriter who wants to get cuts here in Nashville, there's a really specific kind of writing that you have to do. You have to sound like everything else on the radio, but within that group of songs, you have to stand out and you have to sound different.
Right. And with your years of experience, you've actually developed workshops.
I have. I had a hit song, and I was hosting a lot of writers' nights, and that made me accessible, and people kept asking me for feedback and advice. And so one day I thought, well, maybe people would pay me for the feedback and
Right,
advice,
of
and they
course.
did. And then I mentioned to a publisher friend one time, maybe if I did a workshop, I could make more money in less time. And he said, well, me and a friend have been wanting to get out of town and listen to songwriters before they move here and start trying to sound like everybody else. Do you think you could organize something like that for us? And that was back in 2001.
That's wonderful.
And I'm like, yeah, if I got a couple really good publishers that want to listen to unsigned writers, I think I can find some for you.
Heck yeah.
And I said, well, let's make them apply and only take a limited number so you don't have to listen to everybody. And that just started the whole ball rolling, and now it has worked out to, I do it 3 times a year here in Nashville. They let me do them at the Bluebird Cafe.
Oh, really?
Perfect.
Which adds to
Wow.
the fun.
So much fun.
And so 2 publishers come each day for 3 days. They're Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I invite writers to apply, and I pick 16. And each day, 2 publishers listen to a song from each of the 16 writers and give them feedback on the craft and the commercial potential of the song.
That's a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're learning what it takes to get a cut from publishers who are out there getting cuts.
And you say getting your music in Nashville is totally different than anywhere else.
Well, the country market is such a specific style of songwriting. If you ask 100 country fans, what do you love most about country music? At least 99 of them are going to say the stories. Country is very, like, if you're talking about art, country is like the life drawing class. That's like photorealism. It's like if you're a singer-songwriter, if you're a rock artist, it can be very abstract and vague, and as long as it sounds cool and you deliver it well, your fans are going to love it. In country, you have to the language has to be conversational. You have to understand every line the first time you hear it. It all has to add up to one central idea. You have to create a character that the artists are going to want to portray.
Relate
that
to.
that the artists are going to want to portray to their fans. If you make somebody old or mean or stupid or whatever, the artist doesn't want to play that person.
Right.
They want to play somebody that's going to make their fans admire them and look up to them and, pay $100 and drive 3 hours to go see them in
Right.
concert. So.
We see that with artists like Brad Paisley. He kind of got his genre, and he knows who his audience base is,
Yeah.
and he's smart enough. Every song is different, but Brad's really one of the best I've seen in
He
town.
is. He
That
is.
puts out. He knows he's got a sweet family audience,
Yeah.
and he's got a
Right.
good little hook.
Right.
And his songs are always going to be catchy. You're going to get in your head. You're going to
Yeah.
sing them for a few months, and then he's going to come out with something else. It's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah. So and Keith Urban, which is one of our
We love
favorite
Keith Urban,
people,
too.
and I love his style because
Yeah.
he comes in and he is one of the happiest, and
Feel
we sing
good.
around. He's like, I
Yeah.
feel good, I'm happy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
And then Kenny and everybody, Kenny and Garth. I mean, everybody has their own.
All right.
They're smart enough to know their audience.
The
and they
people
play
that
to them.
last, the artists that last, are the ones who develop something that's unique to them. Toby Keith one time said, I didn't start making real money till I started dressing out of my own closet. When he started out, he was the
Really?
hat act. He had on the cowboy shirt
was,
and the big white hat.
Yeah.
And then he just got knocked around by the industry a whole bunch, labels closing and getting dropped and stuff like that. And so now you see him in his,
Yeah.
shirt with the cut-off sleeves and the
Yeah.
bandana, and it's like that when he just said, this is who I am, I'm not going to try to be what I think radio wants to play, this is who Toby
Right.
Keith is. And Kenny Chesney did the same thing. He started out, he was a hat act.
His
now
first
he's
video
the
does
boat
not look
guy.
like he does now. He changed, and he seems so happy. I mean, where's
Yeah.
we never see him around town. Heck, no, he's on a yacht down in the Caribbean.
Heck yeah. Well, people evolve. Those are the artists who stick around.
smart enough, yeah. I
And the
remember-
ones who pick great songs.
I remember seeing Leanne Rhymes and Toby Keith in Memphis on the free stage at the fairgrounds,
Leanne
but they were
Rhymes.
they were stars.
Yeah.
And it was such a big deal. And look at them now. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, you usually can tell when somebody really has that special thing. You kind of know. Like when I saw Garth Brooks, I was like, oh, no brainer there.
I like me some Garth Brooks. I like that he's so respectful
So
to
respectful.
the military, and he
Yeah.
takes off his
And his
hat and
wife.
shakes the hand, and yeah.
He's
So-
not.
so-
He's
so
not just a big star. He's kind of a
I
larger
think we
than
could
life
hang out,
person.
and he would be happy with
Yeah,
it.
I think so.
We come
I
from
think
the
he's-
same era.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker.
Very
Plus, he
sweet.
bounced. I bounced. We'd have a little bit of head knocking stuff to talk about. Well, let's talk about your thing.
Website.
Yeah, let's talk about your website.
Oh yeah. Well, because I work with developing writers, I've tried to make my website the best resource I possibly could. So it's full of articles. It's full of links to other people that I think are really helpful to developing writers. There's information about the services that I offer. You can find out all about the workshops I do. You can find out about how to play at the Bluebird. You can find out about the Writers' Night I host on Tuesday nights at Blue Bar. So it's just lots of, if you're going to, and there's a whole section on coming to Nashville. And I get
Great.
lots of
That's
emails.
so brilliant.
Well, I get lots of emails from people saying, oh my God, that was my map for what I was going to do when I
We're
was
going to put the
perfect.
links up to that page.
Oh,
on the
good. Yeah, it's
website.
really helpful to people.
And people can
so-
hear your music.
Well, that's true. I have my favorite song I posted on my homepage, which
She's
is called
on
"I Love
SoundCloud.
This Town."
That's right.
But then I have a whole SoundCloud page, and that's linked to my on the front page there, so you can go. If you want to know what does she know about songwriting, can she really teach me anything? You can go listen to me on SoundCloud
There you go.
and decide for yourself.
Let's talk about this book that's in the works. We brought it
Oh
up.
yeah,
Let's talk about this book. I'm telling you, I don't
pushing-
read
If
a
we
lot
talk about it,
She's
then I'm going to
awesome.
have to get off my butt and
I
write
think you
it.
can do
you
it.
know?
She should.
I want to write a song. I want to write a book called The Same Only Different. And one of the reasons for the title is I'm probably not going to say anything that you can't read in every other book about songwriting. But I'll say it in a certain way. Maybe you've read it 10 times, but maybe the way I say it will make all the rest of it make sense. Or maybe I'll be number 8 for you, and then the 10th time you hear it from somebody else, it'll all click. Because
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same craft, and no matter who you are. And the other reason I want to call it The Same Only Different is that I want to write specifically about writing for Music Row, for the Nashville market. And that's where you really have
Living
to be.
here in
yeah,
Nashville.
be the same, only different. There's only so much where country music is still lives or dies by terrestrial radio. You can't fill a stadium if you're not on Clear
Right.
Channel, and they have, it's a funny thing because like as songwriters, you sit down and you dig into the deepest reaches
Yeah.
of your soul to come up with some bit of truth or emotional truth that's universal to people, and then the end result of it is that people don't change stations in between the commercials. Radio doesn't play music to uplift and inspire and
Yeah.
entertain people. They play music to keep people tuned in for the commercials. So it's a funny little thing writing for the commercials.
But to
like
hear
that.
some of these people, I mean, I think it's great that the Bluebird is there and they're allowing people to come
Oh,
in
yeah,
and
yeah,
get
yeah.
tickets, and you can get reservations. Can you still do reservations?
Yep, you can. Not for the open mic and not for the Sunday Writers Night,
But
but
just
for all
for-
the other
right.
shows. And you
Okay.
can read on bluebirdcafe.com. They'll explain how to get your reservation.
Thank you
There you
so
go.
much for coming in.
Oh,
We're
you're
so
so
great. And now,
welcome.
now that we're neighbors, what
Yeah,
are we,
there
two
you
blocks
go.
away?
I know.
We didn't even know that.
And when
I
your
know.
book comes out, we're going to have you back on and
Oh,
talk about
gosh.
it.
Well, now I got to write the book.
All right. Well, this has been TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly.
Jill Santabanez and
Barbara Cloyd.